Alright, in this video let's go over some more run and shoot concepts here. I'm gonna do something a little different. I'm gonna actually go through how I would actually call plays and go through a drive. Uh, so let's do that. What I normally would do, first thing I would do is make sure I put strong slot on this formation so that if I use this formation, I can audible to any other formation that I have, because they'll all be four wide receivers. This is the only formation that's has a tight end in it. There is a five wide receiver formation in shotgun, but you don't need to audible to that one. It's not a big deal. Uh, that's just something you use now and then when you want to go empty. You want to change things up, be a little different. I'll probably get into that later, but there's not a lot of switch routes or option routes in the five wide, so yeah, not something I really want to get into in this series. But uh, what I'll actually do is I'll come out here, and a play I like to come out with to start is streak X shallow. So I'll come out this from pistol trips open. We're going to go to the random nickel or random dime. I guess we'll do dime since we'll match personnel. Four corners for four receivers. So we'll do random dime. But let's respot the ball. Let's go to this hash mark. Let's go down to like the 30. Because a lot of times you are towards a hash mark. So with this, I see two safeties back. It looks like a big guy. It looks like a linebacker is on Smith, but I think I can still run a play here. A counter would work, so if I want to just stay in this formation, I would go to a counter, or I would go to single back trips and go to wide zone, whatever I feel more comfortable with. I want to stay in this formation, so we're just going to audible to that, and boom, pick up some yards. Just to show you how I'm going to be running it. Here I see that there's a single high. So what I'm actually going to look for is Smith on his little route that he's doing there. If it stays actually a cover three, he should get open when he starts to hit that seam. And you can get big yards on this. And if not, I'll dump it off to Brown. So I see the single high. Sometimes it rolls. Sometimes this is base coverage, so this might be a cover two invert. If that's the case, you got to know what to do, which is I would look for the other Smith, R1, if I see that the safety stretches out and it's actually a cover two invert. Sometimes that's how it is, and people disguise their coverage, so you're going to have to get used to your opponent and how they like to disguise their coverages, how they roll their safeties, and watch the safeties when you snap the ball. But since I see that there's the six guys in the box, they got one high safety, we're going to throw it, and we'll see how it goes. He stays deep, so as soon as he starts to... We'll look at the replay. I imagine this is going to happen actually quite a bit. So let's show you. As soon as he gets past the linebacker and he cuts up right here, you see he's open, you throw it. You might want to pass lead this direction and then potentially get some big yards. This looks like a cover zero. So this, whatever you're comfortable with. You want to throw something short, go find something short like this. X probably get open real easy. Or you think you can run it, pick a run, but we're going to go with Army here. And I'm actually going to look for Smith or Dotson, the X Smith over here, Devontae. Something quick, because it looks like a blitz. And there we go, something quick and simple. They're playing off coverage. Easy, right? Since it's still a cover one here, cover three look, single high safety. We got the six men in the box. We can run it if we really want to, but we're going to try to actually hit Smith this time. And this, I thought I had the time, but you see right there, he's open. Again, I guess they want to do another cover zero. This one, when they have a stack look, Sometimes you can get some yards on the run. Sometimes, since they're playing off the ball, they're able to get behind the blockers and shoot gaps. So it's your choice if you want to run it or not. Since it is 6 men in the box, you know, we're going to want to throw it. But I don't think I want to use one of these plays. We'll do Army again just because it's something short, quick. They want to blitz, we just get rid of the ball quick. We got the single high safety. Roll away and still get hit. That looked like it was cover one, man coverage. Maybe throw a high pass. I'll show you what I mean here. So I can see that it's man coverage. So when he comes up right here, I would hit L1 when I throw it because he's kind of leaning towards this direction, away from the safety. The corner here is not playing a deep zone. He's covering the drag down here. So you could throw to the drag, but what I would do is I throw a high pass to make sure I throw over this corner. Well, that's actually a linebacker. So I should be able to, should have burned him if I had time to throw it. But in practice, that's usually not going to happen. Probably not going to have a lot of time. You got 7 men in the box. They're probably going to blitz. Got the time and didn't throw it good. This definitely would switch to a run. They look like they're blitzing strong to the right side. There's nobody over here to the left. Go just take some yards, right? But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you some other plays that I would like to come out in. So, like spread, single back spread. This play I like. I run the switch route to the open side of the field. So you see there. Come out of this play. Looks like I could run. And again, I could switch over to the pistol look and do a counter. Run to this open side over here. You know, make them respect the run, which they're not doing, right? The 2 safeties back, 5 men in the box. Now I can run this trap play here. They always like to shift for some reason whenever you do this from this formation. You know, make them respect the run. You don't always have to run it when they do this, but you know, it's to get them to respect that. This looks like again a cover 3 or a cover 1. So I'm going to look to the split receiver side. If you want, which is what I'm going to do, is put the running back to block because I don't have a lot of time. It looks like it's obviously press. Most likely man, even though a lot of times in cover 3 you don't have a lot of press, even in cover 1, but I'm thinking it's man. They're playing over the top and just can't have the time to throw it. And against this one, same kind of style of defense. We can call this run, and we have an option, right? Throw it over to Smith or run it. He doesn't cover him. Threw it a little too soft, but you see easy yards there. A lot of times I come out in a play, like I'll do this, and I'll audible because I see this. This time I'm going to run it no matter what because there's nobody here. Alright. Got everybody going back. It sucks. That was a 4-man rush and they got through like nothing. But let me see if I can show you what's going on over here. I was watching him and I see this guy playing over the top. So I was actually going to hit this guy. You know, but have to throw it a little bit behind him, but it looks like it was man. Cover 1. Cover 1 they always play over the top. So probably one of these in routes would have been the way to go. Right here into this window. Right there. Perfectly wide open. Here, just do the trap. Annoy him with it. who cares if they say you just run the same play? I'll be like, well, stop it. You know what I'm doing. Stop it. Right? Let's go over to the wide zone here from the pistol. They don't have anybody to that side. You get a double team. Then they break off the double team and pick up the linebacker. Real easy. Again, they did the same thing. Same kind of formation. I hit the wrong. Well, we'll run this one anyway. So it's like you come out with a play you like, and then you just audible. I'm going to show you some more. Like single back, trips. There's actually a few plays I like to come out in this one. Strong flood, stick, middle slant is pretty good. But one I want to show you, I think this isn't in my audible, is 60 slide. But we're going to come out in that just because it can get glitchy when you have a certain formation. So what we're going to do is we're going to audible. We're going to motion him in. We're going to just do that to make them think we're running the same play every time we do it. Or they don't realize what play we want to actually set up with that motion. Alright, so we come out in this formation, pretty much no matter what we do. Like, we'll do that same thing because of the way they're lined up. Or, you know what, let's be different. We can run the trap play. We'll flip it because you always want to run it to the side of the 3 technique. We'll motion him in so he thinks, oh, same play. It's not. But you see, we keep motioning him in because it sets up a play, but we're waiting for a certain look. And we're not getting that look. So we're just going to keep going with this. It's also good to motion him in like that because you see how he was pressed, but now the corner backs up. It actually gives you some time to decide where you're going to run. And if you had a chance, if they sealed the outside, you would have had a big run. Let's take a look at that. I'll show you. He didn't seal the outside, but if he was able to get outside, and I saw, you know, that guy coming down, so I went up, you can see how he blocks that corner like pretty much 10 yards down the field. So look at all this area. You're probably going to at least get 20 yards before this guy maybe gets you, right? But I had to cut it up. And we're not getting the look. We're not getting the look I want. But so we're going to keep messing with this until we get a look I want to show you this play that can be glitchy. Some people may think it's kind of cheap. It doesn't completely glitch out the defense, but it kind of does. You might have seen it in Madden 24. But they're not doing any single high defenses. There we go. So this is what we want to set up. What we're going to do is put R1 on an in. You put them on a drag. So this might be a cover 2 invert. So the first actual option is circle Dotson over there. Because if this is a cover 2 invert, that safety is going to kind of stay put and let Dotson run by. And that middle safety, his actual responsibility would be to run out there. Or the safety, the slot guy who's doing like an invert. So they're not going to get there, and you can just throw a quick pass over there. If it's a cover 3 and he drops backs and covers Dotson, you look over to Brown and you get ready to throw a high pass because he should be going up in that slant. He shouldn't be cutting out to the sideline. Like you see one of his options to cut to the sideline on like a corner route. He should do more of that deeper seam corner route. And then you throw a high pass in that direction. You don't have to lead him, just throw it high. You will get it over the secondary. Big play every time. But if he does a hook or you don't like the throw, you think they're covering it well, Smith coming over the middle is your dump off. So let me see if I can read that good. It ended up being cover 1. Shouldn't have had to throw it high, but just to make sure. Let's look at the replay here. On cover 1, he does cut it. You see how sharp he cuts that over there? I can throw it down in this direction. Didn't have to throw it high, but it worked out anyway. And my first read, I was looking over here and I noticed he started backpedaling. I didn't think it was man when I saw it, but I saw him backpedaling, so I was like, oh, cover 3. And I assumed, so I was actually hoping he was going here, but he was manned up, so he did the right route. I just threw it high out of basically muscle memory and assuming a cover 3 zone. So let's run this a couple times. Let's try to get a actual cover 3 again, or at least a single high safety. If not, I'll just come out in a cover 3 just to show you, which might have to do. I'm just gonna do some runs if they're gonna have light boxes here. Alright, get them to respect the run. I have to play the run. There we go. Quick, easy setup. Sometimes that happens. He does that button hook. I don't know what triggers that, to be honest. This looks like it's a cover 1 man. So we'll... I guess I threw it too low. Nice, we're getting it pretty consistently. I'm wondering why he's not doing the seam route. I forgot to be motioning him every time. Man, they jump down to that flat pretty fast. We're just going to run this play just to wait till we get what we want. I'm not going to waste my time doing the motion. Alright, you know what, let's just come out into the cover 3, and we'll do a cover 3 match just to show you that this can be a bomb. Yeah, we'll do a dime. Alright, let's do cover 3, buzz press. Here you don't know that it's a cover 3, but we know it's a cover 3. It may act a little bit differently, but it's a little tighter coverage because that safety is deep and he's over to the side, not in the middle of the field. So if I have time, you'll see that he will split. It's just it's stupid. It really is. Let's change it. Not that that's gonna help block. Okay, let's do the cover 3 buzz. It's a match coverage. Doesn't look like cover 3. That's why I'm saying you gotta watch the safeties. You see them roll, like right there. I guess that's why he does the button hook. If they do a match, he'll do the button hook. Okay. So that's what you gotta be aware of. If he does the button hook, you might want to dump it off to the guy you put on a drag or an in route, whatever you feel like, maybe a slant. Let's see if we can get a different cover 3. That's a weird looking one right there. Let's not do that. One that obvious. There we go. Cover 3 lock. Let's not do that one because the main coverage, I don't know if that'll mess anything up. Might have to do it. Let's just come out in it. Alright, so we'll do this. Same setup. Looks like a cover 4, but it's not. Yeah, I guess some practice. But a lot of times that just splits them. But usually I wouldn't throw this. I wouldn't be looking for this when I see 2 high. When they're in the obvious single high, that's when I'll be looking because that safety's in the middle of the field. Because if you look at that safety on A.J. Brown's side, he's not going right over the middle. So the window in there is a little bit tighter. But you see there, that consistently gets over the top of that corner for some reason. He doesn't play over the top. And you just lead him and highball it, where you don't really have to lead him, but if you want to lead him, you can consistently get something. And that safety usually won't be able to get there if you see the obvious single high safety, right? So that's a nice little trick play there. Kind of glitchy. Some people don't like using it. Uh, but some other plays from flanker close, there's some pretty good ones, like curl switch. Let's come out in that. Let's just do random dime. Alright, so how I would generally read this, I would always have that switch route with the out in the little hook route there on the left. I would always have that to the open side. That's why it's on the open side. I'm going to look for Smith first, Brown, and then Dotson. That's generally how I would read it. So we'll take a look. Does it look like he's going to do it? No. Try to squeeze that in. Did he catch it? He caught it. So we'll try that again. Smith looks like he could. It looks like this button hook's going to get it. But then again, you know, sometimes I can run it. I can run these plays just as they are, but I see the too high. Sometimes I'll be like, you know what? Let's get him to respect the run. Alright, picked up like 8-9 yards. A quick little run. A single high. We'll look again to that. Threw it a little too soon. But he was open. Looks like man. Yeah, Dotson was open. I just didn't have the time to get it to him. Look at that replay just to show that. Wrong guy. See, he's open. And if I had the time, that was a touchdown because there's nobody there. Threw it too soft, and that was picked off. I'm getting hit. And wow, they crushed that one. They shot the gaps. Let's go to a couple other plays. There's a couple ones in here that are like weak flood. That slot on the left there, I don't know. It's glitchy. Like that's the one you want to look for. Smith, he rarely does that little hook. I'm not even sure when he does that. It seems like every time he does that out. And if you see the corner on Brown go deep, so he's in a cover 4, cover 3, that's open every time. He's in man coverage, he's open. It's a cover 2 covers that pretty well, because that corner will stay over there and cover that. So it's just like a flood. But you look for Smith, you want to go deep, and then we'll look at the other Smith, X over there, and then circle. If it's a cover 2 and you notice that, you can hit Brown deep. But this is not that. It's kind of like the route I was showing from the trip slot close, where that in route, it just like can't be covered no matter what they do. A lot of times it's just, you gotta play, you know how to read it. It doesn't matter what coverage they come into. You know where to go with the ball. It's about where the user is and how the user is gonna interact with the routes, to know your play calls so that you mix things up. And I'll give you an example of mixing things up in a second here. But like even when you have too high like this, you can still throw it. But you know, now and then, like I said, you see that you can run it. And I probably should have bounced that outside. They did pretty good blocking. But let's see if we get that again. Not quite so not much that time, but it gets them thinking about the run, right? Keeping them honest. All right, they want to do this. I'm going to show you why I didn't throw that. I could have probably hit Brown. I double tapped it because I was bringing it back. Because while he was going up, look at this guy. He starts dropping back right there. So then I was like, hey, I'm going to throw it to him. And that's where I double tapped. But I was like, wait, he's not dropping back. He's going to come over there and kill him. So then I was going to throw to him. But when I double tapped, it was too late. I got sacked. As you can see here, I pump fake. And then when I want to throw, I'm like, okay, throw to this guy now. I'm sacked. You know, sometimes that's how it is. But let's... I think I showed you 2 plays from this already. Switch dig is another good one. But let's come out here because 2 plays I like to pair together is 590 Texas and 590 Nebraska. So let's say you start off with 590 Texas. And again, we'll just do random dime. Let's flip this. I like to run it to this side here, the running back to the wide side. And if I do change anything, it's either block the running back or I put him on a swing left, because when I do throw to him, I want him heading upfield. But the main target is triangle, then X, then either circle or R1, depending on what you see. So here, nobody's going after him. That's why I have him going upfield. You have someone like Barkley. It's basically that play becomes, let me just, I don't want to have to flip it every time. So let me come out in that play again. Let's do random. So bump and run. Sometimes the bump and run actually messes up the drag route, and but sometimes you get wide open. Nobody wants to go over there. He did go over there, but he wanted to bump Smith first, so that slowed him down. Allowed me to just do that. Again, if nobody wants to get over there, I'll take the short yards, right? Even though I could probably go deeper, but you get sacked pretty quick in practice, so might as well take the short yards. This time they go over there with him. I was going to hit X. Didn't have time. Let me just show you. So this time I saw the linebacker going over there. I was like, Smith might get this. I could probably throw that, but I was like, no, let's hit him, because I saw that safety way back. There's nobody there. I was like, that should be easy. But of course I get hit. So we'll come out here. And the reason why I want to show you a mix-up is because you see this play. Let's say you run this one a lot because you're trying to get good deep yards, right? So let's keep running it here. You see how the focus is obviously a flood to the running back side. Well, you want to run that a lot. Obviously, a user is going to pay attention to that. So you mix it up with the opposite. This one, basically everybody's going the opposite direction, right? And what's nice is that X right there, when he does that drag, if the safety up there stays deep and that slot guy follows him in a little bit, Dotson should almost always get open. And if not, you can dump it off to Barkley. So you get this quick little thing over here. I should not have thrown that. Again, you get a lot of this not wanting to cover the flats. But again, normally I would also run it to this side. I run it to the open side so they know I don't have a tell. Right? He came inside. If I thrown it a little quicker, maybe I would have been able to do something. He bounced back out there pretty quick. Oh, I thought that safety was coming down after Barkley. Thought he was going down to the flat or something, but he didn't. This one, obviously, I'm not doing as well running this one. That's why I use the other one and use this one to mix it up, right? Because you get the opponent trying to counter your flood, right? Because he's expecting everything to go to the left, but now pretty much everything's going to the right. So you get that little mix up, and then of course you can do something like a draw. Keep him honest. Or quick base against a nose tackle. I'm not sure if this works too well. We'll run it. Yeah, I guess it works alright. I should have bounced it outside. Let's try it again, even though... Oops. They brought the safety down, so I'd probably really want to throw this, but I just wanted to run it against the nose tackle again. But of course, like I said, you can audible to pretty much every formation in this. Oh, another thing I like to do is I will come out with rip 60 go swap, right? Come out. Sorry that I'm getting a lot of messages all of a sudden. Alright, so we come over here. They got a single high. This is awesome because the read is going to be X triangle square. So we're going to look for X. I do not know what's going on there. And we know we have that. You see, if as long as he's not playing over the top, I'll show you the replay, what we're looking for here. We see single high safety. So when he comes all over here, if he starts to drop back this way, okay, X is out no matter what. But if he doesn't, he starts to come inside like he did, then we know we have X as long as whoever's here or following him, as long as they're not over the top. And as you can see, he's not going over the top. He's kind of staying with him. So right there, I already knew I had him. All right, but let's say he's over the top. Well, that's what I said. You go to triangle next. Triangle is this out route. Look, he's wide open. I could have dumped it off to him. But let's say this guy was actually on him. Well, then that's why I said square is the next route. And you can see he's kind of open. I would probably have to throw it, pass lead it down and inside so that he doesn't run into the safety. But you can see that he's also open. And potentially you could hit him in the seam and get a big play. You can run this when it's not single high. Because against a cover 2 where there's a cloud flat out there, oh, this looks like a man. So what you do is you see, is he playing over the top? And he's not, but he's really tall. Should have thrown a high ball, but I thought he could just beat that linebacker or whoever that was. But anyway, let's run it a couple times against too high, just for shits and giggles here. And he's running a seam. I was not expecting that. I was expecting square to come across the middle, and when he didn't, threw me off. But this is really what we want to run this play against, like this. Single high safety. We got it. And if you see they're in a double high, I have 590 Texas and 590 Nebraska, two plays I really like to use in the audibles. So when I use this play a lot, obviously you can counter that, right? You know what play I'm doing. You see me run it a lot. Well, that's why you have these other motion plays here where I like to use rip 61 choice. So you're used to that guy doing that wheel, right? So now you're like, you want to change coverage thinking you're going to cover it. because it's basically an outside read, pretty much an outside flood for the most part, right? Because you're looking to one side. Well, this time you have that same motion, looks like man, and then you just wait. Triangle is open, didn't have time. You know, they think it's the same play. You keep doing that wheel route, or you can keep using this play. And I hit the wrong button, but it worked out. Meant to hit the drag. Okay, we can still run this against the blitz. We're just gonna have to be quick on this. So you see, it's awesome to do that. And I suppose if you really want, you can mix in that other motion play from here as well, the 60Z slide. But that's a lot of the stuff I like to come out with and then audible from. I guess there's others, but you know what? I'll keep this short. Let's wrap this video up. Next, I'll get into some more shotgun stuff I like to do to audible out of it, and you know the plays I like to come out in and then audible from. This Streak X Shallow, it's nice because you can use this play the same way I was using it from single back trips, and you running the same play but from a different formation. So if they get used to it from one formation, but you notice you were able to torch them, you switch to a different formation, they think you're running something different, but you're not. You know, you keep your strategy simple. You don't have to know a whole lot and do a whole lot of crazy things. You just, it's kind of like, if you do the same play, it's kind of like in boxing, you jab somebody, right? You jab, it's the same thing. You jab, jab. Maybe you'll jab faster, or you double jab, but you're just doing a lot of jabs. Jab, double jab, a slow, stretched out jab, a couple, fast jabs, right? You're just the same thing. And now and then you throw in a right, or you throw in an uppercut or something, you see what the opponent's doing, and it's a whole lot of the same thing, right? Like in boxing, it's a left or a right, right? You're never going to use both. That would be a little weird. So you're either throwing left or you're throwing right, and it's just different angles. You're either throwing straight at them, you're throwing your fist going up, you're hooking it from the side, or now and then you're bringing it down from the top. Some weird angles like that at times. So it's simple. You don't overcomplicate it, right? But when you get them used to that jab, they pay attention to it. They get used to it. So even if you're doing a jab, let's say you're doing it slow, you just hit that jab. You hit it. Even if they're blocking it, you just keep jabbing them. They get used to it. They get the timing down, and then all of a sudden you're jabbing faster. And then they're like not used to it. You throw them off, and you didn't really change anything, just the speed of your jab. And it's the same thing you do with football. Sometimes you might run the same play. Sometimes you run it with a slight alteration. You run it faster. You run it no huddle, right? Or you run it to the open side of the field, and now all of a sudden you're running it to the closed side of the field, right? Something like that makes it look like you're doing something different when you're not, right? Because some of these plays I like to come out with, you can run from the bunch to the open or the closed side of the field. And eventually I'll get to the 5 wide. But that is that for the video. If you like the video, you want to see more on this, or you want to see more of a breakdown of the run and shoot, some specifics, comment, let me know. Tell me what you think I'm doing that's wrong or stupid, or tips on what you like to do, how you like to run the run and shoot. And I'm going to try to just go through how I would, in the next few ones, just how I would run a drive and what I would come out in and what I would audible to depending on what I see, right? And then from there, you take it, use it how you want. And if you like it, thumbs up, subscribe, share. Help support, because I'm trying to do this to start off, a side hustle, a side project here, get something going here. So your support will help, even if it's just prayers. Your prayers will help out a lot. I know time is short here. Recently, a lot of things happened in my life. little bit of a guilt trip on you. So if you can help me out, that would be awesome by just liking, sharing, and your prayers. And if you can, financial support would be awesome. But only if you can, only if you want to. No big deal. I put this at the end of the video so you can enjoy the video, and you could have turned it off by now. But ultimately, my sponsor, Jesus Christ, would like to let you know that you're in a rough situation right now if you're not saved. The time of grace is almost over. And if you haven't accepted his sacrifice for you, well, you're going to have to pay for your own sins. Because there's nothing you can do to change your intentions. Because your heart is about saving yourself, right? It's not about loving God and loving your fellow man, right? And you can't change your desires. You desire to do what is wrong and you enjoy it, right? You can't change the fact that that's what you like. And your sins, you can't just wash them away. There's nothing you can do to wash away the things you've said and done. And when you die, you're going to have to face judgment. So accept Jesus' sacrifice in your place where he's willing to exchange lives with you. You give him 100% of your life, past, present, and future. He gives you 100% of his, past, present, and future. Accept that now, today, and you're set. So, you may find struggles in this life, but you'll be able to enjoy something like Madden, some of the run and shoot. Some of the old school 80s, 90s football there. And not have to worry about where you're going if you happen to have a heart attack because you have a aneurysm getting really ticked off at the game, right? I imagine that's how I could go someday. Joking, not joking. But so with that being said, get saved while you can. Thanks for watching, and take care.